Many Professor M. Vishwanathan's, many associations have instituted them. But coming from Stanley Medical College, where it all started and where he started, and having an oration in his name linked to Stanley Medical College, I think would have given him the greatest joy. And from wherever he is now, this day must be very important for him. And therefore, I pay a very rich tribute to my father. Much has been said about him as a student and how he started the Department of Diabetology here, his influence by Dr. K.C. Ford and others. But a couple of other things about him you may not know. His passion for Stanley, for example, was such that he lived and breathed Stanley, and every waking moment of his was spent in Stanley. He hardly had an evening practice. He used to spend maximum amount of time here. And evening, he hardly developed in 25 years that he was in Stanley. His practice was virtually nothing. Just had that too. He didn't even practice diabetology in those days until he left Stanley, when he found, due to circumstances in 1969-70, 1970 he actually had to leave. So for 30 long years, he was associated with this one institution. Another fact which you may not know is that Professor Vishwanathan's mother, Dr. Madhaviyamma, was also a student of Stanley. Of course, it was not known as Stanley at that time. Stanley, as was rightly mentioned, was only born in 1938. And I think Professor Natarajan was the first batch of, M. Natarajan Ortho was the first batch of Stanley. But his mother studied here in the same college which was then known as Royapuram Medical School. So she was a student of Royapuram Medical School, and he was the second generation. And what again you may not know is that although I studied in Madras Medical College, when you are asked to fill up the application for the MBBS, you are given three choices, 1, 2, 3. My father made me write Stanley. So I wrote only Stanley, and I got MMC. So then he said change immediately. Go and tell them you don't want MMC, and change to Stanley immediately. I just announced that I might change, and people started coming home with packets of envelopes with cash and so on, saying I will change. I was not like, why are they giving me money to change from one college to another? So I called my aunt, his younger sister, who actually studied in MMC. Dr. Sundara Nair was also Padmashri, very well-known gynecologist, and she said, no, you've got MMC after writing 3 times Stanley, there is something in it, so you just accept it, don't listen to your father, you just accept it and go there. And so I accepted and went, and of course I have no regrets because I met my wife there and many things happened in MMC, so I have no regrets about going to MMC. But so it is a family tradition, and of course the third generation, when Dr. Vijay studied here in Stanley, I think my father's wish I think came true when Dr. Vijay got selected in Stanley and he studied here. So we can proudly say that 3 generations of my family have actually studied in Stanley Medical College and Hospital. One more instance just to show you his passion and how close he was to Stanley. Just after he left Stanley, one day I was driving him, and the entrance to Stanley was through this road only, the other block on the opposite side. And I was just driving him somewhere else, not to Stanley, he had left Stanley, and by mistake I entered this road, and he shouted at me and he said, turn back. And I was driving and I just stopped and said, what happened? He said, I cannot go on that road and not enter Stanley. And I said, don't go there. And it will be the first time I am going on that road and not entering Stanley Hospital. So that was his kind of emotional attachment to Stanley. He always talked about the Stanley spirit and so on. And when I was a young student, I used to listen to him talk about Stanley so much. So I am very happy that this small seed that he planted as a diabetic clinic then became a Department of Diabetology, and thanks to Shantaram and now Shanmugam taking this forward, and the 2 deans who are here, and of course the government of Tamil Nadu who have thought it fit to start this Department of Diabetology here. I am sure this institute is going to grow from strength to strength. We have a very dynamic Dr. Shanmugam here now, who has recently conferred the FACE, the Fellowship of the American College of Endocrinology. Whatever help that you need from us, I know the Institute of Child Health is here, OID is here. So we have a lot of collaboration with the government hospitals. And if you need any special investigations to be done, if you think which we have, genetic studies or anything, it will be done completely free of cost. You will not need to spend 1 rupee. You can send as many cases as you want. We have been collaborating with the government institution now for many years. So anything that you need from, any help you need from us, either on the academic side or at any other side, we consider Stanley and this department as our home. We all grew from here, and therefore my very best wishes to the institute to grow greater and greater heights. We are very happy that Dr. Isaac Moses, the dynamic former dean of Stanley Medical College, was instrumental in starting this department. Will be delivering the first oration. We are looking forward to listening to you, sir. My very best wishes to all of you, and may God bless you all. Thank you.